Hi, this is Richard Chamberlain. I'm one of the attorneys at Chamberlain Law Group, and I want to welcome you to this episode of the Protecting Your Family's Future podcast. This is episode number 10, and today we're going to be talking about protecting your beneficiaries with your estate plan. So if this is your first time listening to the show, I'd like to encourage you to go back and listen starting in episode 1. These first 10 episodes are designed to really be an introduction into estate planning issues and topics, terminology. So if you're new to the process of estate planning, going back and listening from number 1, I think would give you a good start on the process. As I mentioned, today we're going to be talking about protecting your beneficiaries with your estate plan. Now, traditionally, people think about estate planning as, how can I design my plan to leave my assets to my beneficiaries when I pass? And what they think about is what we would call an outright distribution, just giving the assets to those beneficiaries when they pass away. But what if you have beneficiaries where an outright distribution would not be a good idea? For example, your beneficiaries are minors, or your beneficiaries are they're adults, but they're young adults and don't have experience managing money, and you're concerned what they would do with it. People who might be taken advantage of, people who might have a disability, for example. They're not capable of managing their own property and financial affairs. You might have someone with creditor issues, or you might have someone who has an addiction, and giving them an outright distribution would be a terrible idea. So in those cases, with your estate planning, you can build a plan that will protect those beneficiaries. You can make a plan such that instead of making an outright distribution to those people, the assets would be held in trust for them, with someone managing the assets for them and making distributions for them and for their needs, as that person, the trustee of their trust, determines would be in their best interest. So they can do things like pay for school and pay for medical expenses and pay for living expenses, and help them make good decisions about how to use their money. Maybe we get to a point where they are older and they're capable of doing things on their own. Well, then the plan can shift. Their trust can say that when they reach a certain age, or if they're no longer incapacitated, or if these conditions are met, then they can have access and control to the assets that are in their trust. But really, one of the most powerful things about estate planning is to be able to design a plan that will protect your beneficiaries, will leave assets to them in a way that's going to be in their best interest. So not leaving them to fend for themselves, not leaving them to figure it out, but giving them the best possible chance of having the assets used in a way that would benefit them and benefit their lives in a protected way. So, for us, that's really where the power of good customized estate planning comes in. It's not just about avoiding probate. It's not about being efficient with our planning, but it's also thinking about who the intended beneficiaries are and how we can best design the plan to take care of them and to take care of the assets for them. So I hope that's helpful for you today. As we continue on in future weeks, we'll go into more detail about each one of those types of beneficiaries. But I wanted to give you, kind of the general overview of protecting beneficiaries with this one. I hope it's helpful. If you found this podcast to be helpful in general, I'd really appreciate it if you would share it with people that you think would also benefit from it. Also, if you have any questions or you need help with your estate planning, you can reach out to us and we'd be glad to talk to you about that. Our contact information is in the show notes. And I look forward to seeing you next week. And thanks for being here. Thanks. Bye.